A house husband is a man who stays at home while his partner works outside the home. This role involves traditional household tasks along with general repairs, vehicle maintenance, and yard work. While the wife may occasionally assist with cooking and childcare, the bulk of these responsibilities fall on the husband. Managing this role while raising 3 young children would have been challenging for me. With our modest income, our kids attended daycare while my wife and I worked to support our family. As our kids grew older and entered high school, my wife pursued an MBA, funded by her employer. This meant I took on more household duties to support her studies. I gladly accepted this responsibility, knowing her MBA would lead to career advancement and higher earnings. Amy's MBA program, tailored for working professionals, lasted nearly 3 years. By the time she completed it, our kids were heading off to college. Despite their academic success and scholarships, supporting 3 college students was financially demanding. I worked as an accounting manager for a small manufacturing company, earning a modest salary. Meanwhile, Amy's hard work paid off when she was promoted to executive vice president at her insurance company, with a significant salary increase and additional benefits. Her promotion came at a critical time, as my employer faced financial difficulties and eventually sold the business. Although offered a job at the new plant, the distance and lower pay made it impractical for me. Unemployed, I felt restless, but Amy reassured me, reminding me of our financial stability and presenting me with a long list of home improvement projects. Thus, at age 48, I embraced the role of a house husband. Over the following year, I tackled Amy's extensive list of tasks, from home renovations to labor-intensive landscaping projects. As I busied myself with home improvements, Amy continued her ascent in the corporate world, earning a promotion to senior executive vice president along with a significant pay raise. She thrived in her role and gained respect among her colleagues, often mingling with influential figures at social events. I frequently accompanied her to these gatherings. Over time, I noticed a shift in Amy's behavior toward me at these events. Initially, she wanted me by her side as she networked with important individuals. However, gradually, she began leaving me alone at our table or at the bar while she engaged with others. Eventually, I found myself spending most of the evening entertaining bosses' wives or sitting by myself. The breaking point came during a weekend retreat at a resort. Amy left me with the wives for hours while she attended meetings with top executives and board members. When I questioned what I should do, she brushed it off, leaving me to occupy myself. Frustrated, I vowed it would be the last time I accompanied her to such events. Left to my own devices, I observed Amy's interactions from a distance. I saw her getting cozy with a tall, distinguished man on the terrace, exchanging affectionate gestures and whispers. Their behavior raised suspicions, particularly as they seemed unconcerned about being seen by coworkers. Unsure of the man's identity, I returned to our suite to investigate further. I realized I needed to delve deeper into Amy's professional connections and the nature of her relationship with this man. It was a sobering realization that prompted me to reassess our dynamic and my role in Amy's world. It took mere seconds to find a photo of Stephen Swanson, chairman of the board for Mega Insurance Corporation, along with some intriguing background information. Stephen was married to Margot Davis Swanson, daughter of William Davis, the former COB and founder of Mega Insurance Corporation. This added a layer of complexity to the situation, as Amy seemed to be dancing on thin ice. Stephen, after all, had married into the company's founding family, and William Davis remained the majority shareholder. That evening, Amy sat beside me at dinner, engaging in conversations with other EVPs while I found myself chatting with Diane, a lively presence seated nearby. I couldn't help but notice her ample display of cleavage, which added an unexpected allure to our conversation. As the lights dimmed and music filled the room, Amy leaned in to inform me she would be dancing with her coworkers, leaving me to observe from the sidelines. Diane, noticing my predicament, shared her experience of being sidelined at such events by her own husband, who was likely busy ingratiating himself with influential figures. Jokingly, I requested a dance with Diane, promising to contain any potential drooling. Our brief dance was interrupted when her husband intervened, redirecting her attention to his boss, highlighting the strategic maneuvering at play. Observing Amy's dance floor interactions, I noted her frequent dances with Stephen Swanson. Curious, I decided to stay and watch a while longer. Eventually, Amy noticed me sitting alone and approached, suggesting I retire to our room and promising to join me later. Seizing the opportunity, I jokingly requested a dance with my wife before the evening concluded. "John, this is strictly business, important business. Please do as I've asked for now, and we can discuss this later," Amy stated firmly before walking away. Her words echoed in my mind as I watched her leave, feeling a surge of indignation. It was as though I had been dismissed like an errant child, instructed to retreat to my room. Fuming with frustration, I refused to remain passive and decided to leave. Avoiding sulking in our room, I sought refuge at the resort's bar, seeking solace and clarity in solitude. Amy's involvement, or impending involvement, with Swanson weighed heavily on my mind. Yet, lacking concrete evidence, I resolved to gather my thoughts before taking any action. Sipping my drink, I contemplated my next steps until deciding to call it a night. On my way back, I glimpsed into the event room, witnessing Amy in close proximity to Swanson on the dance floor. Noting the time from a staff member, I returned to our room, feeling a mixture of frustration and suspicion. As I idly watched TV in the dimly lit room, Amy returned unexpectedly, her disheveled appearance catching me off guard. Confronting her, I demanded an explanation for her prolonged absence, observing her flushed cheeks and disheveled appearance. Her attempt to dismiss my concerns with a casual explanation only fueled my suspicion. The late-night rendezvous with Swanson and her plans for the following day left me feeling unsettled and incredulous. "I don't know, if it gets to be too late, I'll just come back Monday morning." "You won't. You're not spending all day and all night with him and then coming back to my house. First off, I never said anything about that, and secondly, it's my house, not yours. It belongs to me." I stood there stunned. When I finished all the work on the house, Amy refused to use her bonus to pay off the construction loan. She insisted we refinance the house. Since I was unemployed, I wasn't put on the mortgage, and Amy insisted I not be on the deed if I wasn't on the mortgage. It angered me, but we planned to move after the improvements. I assumed I'd be back at work by then and on the deed of the new house, so I let it go. She stood with her hands on her hips and smirked. I got out of bed and started getting dressed. I grabbed my suitcase and slammed it down on the bed. I opened drawers and began packing my clothes. "So now what? Are you going to run off? Where are you going to go? You've got no home, no job, and no money, so where do you think you're going?" "Forget you, Amy. I'll sleep in my car before I let you get away with this. I will not be your cuckold. I will divorce you. You silly man, you've got nothing. I own you. Without me, you'd be out on the street. Stop being a big baby. I need to do this thing with Steven tomorrow, and he'll back me for COO. That will double my salary and triple my bonus. I'll be able to buy us a really nice house in an exclusive neighborhood. I don't want another house. I want a faithful wife who cares about me, about us, and our marriage. Please, Amy, don't give in to him. You don't have to do this. You can get the job on your own without him." Amy shook her head, looking down at the rug. "It's too late." Then I knew she'd already gone through with it. I was already betrayed. Her plan for tomorrow was just more of the same. I looked at her with disgust. "You did it. You've killed us." "Don't be stupid, John. We can have it all. So what if I did? It's no big deal. A quick shower and I'm good as new. It'll be over by Monday morning, and we'll be set for life. It's just part of the game. In a few days, you'll forget all about it. I know I will." I finished packing and stormed out. I drove off, ignoring my phone. I should have been heartbroken, but mostly I was just numb. As I drove, the traffic thinned out. I set the cruise control and relaxed back into my seat. Reflecting on the past 6 months, I realized Amy had changed after her first promotion. She became consumed by ambition, prioritizing power and wealth over everything else. Love, devotion, family, and fidelity no longer mattered to her. It was all about her achievements, power, and money. The realization that she had changed and was no longer the sweet, loving woman I had married filled me with sorrow. I wiped away a few tears as I mourned the loss of the woman I had loved for 20 years. Monday morning arrived with a sense of dread. I reached out to the lawyer I used to work with and asked for a referral to a family law attorney. The receptionist at the attorney's office seemed surprised when I explained my situation. Mr. Dixon, Ms. Hawk typically represents women in more vulnerable positions in divorce cases. Are you sure you have the right attorney? I am a house husband, and my wife, a high-powered executive, has been unfaithful. There was a brief pause before she responded, "Oh my. This is a unique case for her. Can you make it to her office by 11:30? I arrived at Sally Hawk's office 10 minutes early. The receptionist greeted me warmly, and I waited for about 20 minutes before Miss Hawk herself appeared. "Mr. Dixon, I'm Sally Hawk. Please, come into my office." I shared my story with her, and she took notes as I spoke. "So, you've been a homemaker for about 3 years now?" "Yes, I lost my job when the company I worked for was sold, and my wife encouraged me to stay home and work on our house while she pursued her career." "Interesting. When did you start suspecting there were problems in your marriage?" "To be honest, it's only been recent that I suspected infidelity, but looking back, I think it may have started almost a year ago. My wife admitted to cheating over the weekend, which is why I'm here today." "Mr. Dixon, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I assure you, we'll ensure fairness in the divorce proceedings. Now, about her admission of infidelity, do you have any evidence of it? Perhaps a recorded confession?" "No, I didn't record it. But based on what I've seen, I believe many of her colleagues are aware of her actions." "All right. While this is a no-fault state, having evidence of adultery could strengthen our position in the settlement. Would you be open to having my investigator look into it? I work with Masters Investigations, and they're quite reputable." "Sure, I suppose I should withdraw some money from the bank before she locks me out." "I assume you have a joint account?" "Yes, we have a small household checking account at Chase that I primarily use. Most of our funds are in a managed portfolio that we both have access to. However, she also has several accounts solely in her name." "All right, once we're finished here, withdraw all but $1 from the joint account. Deposit the money elsewhere, but don't disclose the location to me. I'll initiate a freeze on the investment account and request disclosure of all her assets." As I was leaving the bank, my phone rang. It was Jack Masters. "Mr. Dixon, Sally Hawk asked me to reach out to you. Can you talk privately?" I settled into my car and locked the doors. "Yes, I'm in my car parked outside the bank." Sally briefed me on the situation. "My team will begin gathering information this afternoon. What are your immediate plans? Do you intend to remain in the house?" "I can't afford to move out unless I liquidate some of our investments." "Understood. Since you can't force her to leave, I suggest you relocate to another bedroom and install a sturdy lock. We can arrange for someone to assist with that if needed. Additionally, I recommend installing surveillance equipment in your home as soon as possible." "I'm heading home now. I'll stop to get a lock set and should be back in 40 minutes. I fitted the lock while the team from Masters Investigations installed discrete cameras throughout the house. I moved my belongings into the room farthest from our previous bedroom, grateful that I had added an ensuite during the renovations. Later that evening, my phone buzzed, signaling motion detected in the driveway. The new camera displayed Amy exiting a limo, though I couldn't discern if anyone else was with her. After retrieving her bags, the driver departed. Watching the live feed on my laptop, I observed Amy searching the house, calling out my name. Entering our former bedroom, she seemed puzzled by its emptiness. "Damn," she exclaimed upon seeing the vacant closet. After briefly inspecting the bathroom, she left for my new room. Moments later, she attempted to open the door. "John, are you in there? What do you want?" "Darling, please open the door. Why are your things missing from our room?" "It's my room now, not yours." "John, stop this silliness and let me in." "No, you're not welcome here. Clean yourself up, then meet me in the kitchen." She gasped and stormed off. From the laptop, I watched as she undressed and headed for the master in suit. I locked my door before descending to the kitchen. I opened the feed from the master bedroom on my phone. Observing Amy's actions, I couldn't help but shake my head. She first put on a sexy bra, then discarded it for a t-shirt, accentuating her braless figure. Despite recognizing her intentions, I couldn't look away as she descended the stairs and approached the table where I sat. Done. All cleaned up, good as new. So, are you satisfied now? She asked. Satisfied? Are you kidding? I may never find happiness again. You slept with him. You've ruined everything. I'm done with this, I replied. Initially shocked, Amy's expression quickly turned to anger. Listen, John Dixon. Nothing has changed. You need to get over this jealousy and stop acting foolish. Yes, I slept with him, but it was purely business. Now, move your things back to our bedroom, she demanded. How many, Amy? I asked. How many what? What are you talking about? She retorted. How many others have there been? Were they all for business, or did you enjoy some for fun? I pressed. What? How could you ask that? Stephen was the only one, and you know why. He was okay, but not like you, she replied. Is that so? It's been a while since we've been intimate, I stated. But that's not true. We've had sex. I mean, it's just... She trailed off. You were quite enthusiastic the night of your last promotion, I reminded her. That was 6 months ago. It hasn't been that long. Oh my God, John, I'm sorry. I've been consumed by work. I'll make it up to you, she promised. Promises, like the ones you made on our wedding day? I retorted. I don't need more empty promises. John, please forgive me. Let's go back to our bed, and I'll make it right, she pleaded. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm not interested in sloppy seconds, I replied. Fine. You can stay here and sulk. I don't need you for sex, Amy snapped, storming off. Sally reviewed the recordings of our conversation. She advised me to remain civil and avoid Amy as much as possible. After 3 days, Jack's team concluded that Amy likely had sexual encounters with HR and Stephen before a promotion to SEVP, but lacked concrete evidence. The investigation confirmed my suspicions that Amy had begun cheating during her first major promotion. If she resorted to such tactics for senior EVP and a shot at COO, what lengths would she go to for CEO or a board seat? It was clear she was willing to use her body to achieve her goals, and I couldn't tolerate that. I instructed Sally to proceed with the divorce papers. Jack's team uncovered Amy's offshore account, and Sally compelled Mega to disclose all of Amy's payroll records. Over the years, she had opted for stock options instead of salary increases, likely aiming to accumulate enough stock to influence a board seat. True to her word, Sally secured me half of our stock portfolio and a substantial cash settlement from Amy. Additionally, I would receive half the value of the house upon its sale. After settling with Sally, I was left with approximately $600,000 in cash and stocks. While not wealthy, it was enough to sustain me. Sally introduced me to Carol Hillman, a woman who had recently acquired a small manufacturing company after her cheating husband left her. Recognizing her need for an accountant, she hired me. After working together for a few months, Carol and I found comfort in each other's company and became intimately involved. Despite the taboo, we managed to keep our relationship discreet. Epilogue. Shortly after my divorce was finalized, Amy's bid for COO was derailed by an anonymous email to the board containing a recording of her admitting to sleeping with Stephen for his support. The board rejected Stephen's recommendation and reinstated William Davis as COB. William promptly terminated his soon-to-be ex-son-in-law. In a twist of fate, Margot Davis, Amy's replacement, terminated Amy's employment at Mega Insurance Corporation. I expressed my condolences when I encountered Amy working at a supermarket checkout. To my surprise, she broke down in tears and threw produce at me, resulting in her immediate dismissal. It seems Amy's career struggles continue. Write your opinion in the comments. Thanks for watching and have a great day.